Welcome back to Griftlands. I haven't played this game in a while, and they have been updating it like crazy. They've added an entire, third character. They're basically following the, sort of the plan that Slay the Spire followed in early access, which was, introducing a single character, building the game around their simplest character, and then adding new and more complex characters over time. And then they considered the game releasable once they had 3. They added a 4th character anyway afterwards, but yeah. So Griftlands is kind of following the same schedule. So they've got, they had their original character that I've played on here a bunch. They've just introduced their 3rd character now, but I'm still stuck in the 2nd character. I haven't unlocked the 3rd character yet because I'm playing the 2nd character. So what's the character's name? I don't know, because I also haven't played the game in a while. In fact, it shows him right here. This is him, Mustache Man. I love this guy. So the thing that's special about if you haven't heard of Griftlands, if you haven't played this with me before, it's basically, it's like 2 different games of Slay the Spire in parallel, crammed into a story. And I don't say, when I say crammed into the story, that makes it sound like there's a linear tale that they're sort of forcing it into. I'm using the word crammed wrong there. What they have is a procedurally generated story that is derived from your, from your choices and your successes and your failures at this Slay the Spire-like deck-building card game. And it's really, really cool. I take a lot of inspiration from the stuff that they've been doing when I think about, how to do procedural narrative built around game mechanics. So it's really clever. So this guy, I forgot his name, but his special deal is that when he's playing cards, he's got this coin that he can flip. And when he flips a coin, it activates special powers of different cards. And so we can have a really varied and powerful deck, but it's kind of up to a flip of a coin whether all of his abilities work at any given time. So it's an interesting balance challenge that they've taken on for themselves. So this is day 3. It says up here, this is day 3 of my run. Each run takes place over the course of multiple days. You get to rest between the days and recharge your health and your other stats, and sort of take on a bunch of new challenges. They're not constantly trying to whittle you down exactly the same way as Slay the Spire. They give you a little bit of respite, which is kind of nice. So usually you live at a tavern. You have some sort of overarching goal, but you also take a lot of mercenary jobs and things like that along the way. So it's, what brings you back? Nothing. So yeah, okay. So don't really need to talk to this guy right now. Let's just open the map and see what my options are. All right, so I'm sitting here. So it's interesting, where Slay the Spire has you follow this sort of branching pathway through the tower that you're climbing. This one has kind of a branching pathway, but it's represented very differently. It's represented as icons that pop up on a map, and you decide which icons you're going to pursue. So let's see here. So I'm partway through a plot that I've forgotten everything about. But it looks like we've got this mission called Bogged Down. If you can convince Philemo to act on the intelligence, you might be able to tag along. Or, Bogged Down, if you convince Calandra to act on the intelligence, you might be able to tag along. So basically, there are 2 different people that I can that I can sort of enlist in my quest, and which one I select is going to have some sort of impact on the outcome. So let's have a look at this dude. Oh no! Random encounter. A lone Jake confronts you. I think that the word Jake is slang for something in this world, but I'd just like to imagine there's just a bunch of men named Jake, and this is one of them. Oh, but I love this. They give you these little tooltips to figure out what their jargon means. So Jakes are a collection of free laborers who work the docks and roads, controlling tariffs. Oh, and this is actually a woman who is unlikely to be named Jake. Except, of course, this is an alien planet, so whatever. People can have whatever names they want. Back me up and I'll pay. Back you up with what? You'll see. The Jake exhales and steps behind you. Before you can question her further, you're joined by the Rise, which is a rebel organization. Yeah, it's a loose group of union organizers and freedom fighters campaigning for workers' rights across Bavaria. There she is. Out of the way, Grifter. We have business to discuss with that Jake. What do you want? If you must know, she sold us a load of defective weapons. It almost got me killed by barons. I want my money back and weapons at work. What's your part in this? This Oshnu bought loads of surplus Admiralty weapons and charged into battle without testing them first. They were surplus weapons and were priced accordingly. I'm not surprised they didn't work. I was upfront about the risks. I'm just the middleman here. Okay, so I've got a few different options here. So purple options are social. It's when I'm trying to talk somebody into something, and that is one deck of cards that I can play with. The other one, these orange options, these are combat options, and that's a second different set of cards that I've been collecting that help me in combat. And they work a little bit differently. Conversations are more one-on-one. When you've got backup from somebody else, it's usually they just give you some special power that's often short-lived, and it's really up to you. Combat really does depend a lot more on the allies that you've brought with you and sort of your squad. Flaps Videos asks, is this a turn-based game? Yes, it is. And once I decide what side I want to take, so this is tough. So they do a really good job of coming up with scenarios where there isn't really a clear, obvious right and wrong answer. Like, do I back up the freedom fighters who are like, hey, you sold us bad stuff? Or do I back up the person who's like, you take what you get. You bought it. You knew what it was. Like, I tend to be a little bit more in favor of the victim of a bad trade than the perpetrator of the bad trade. I tend to think of the seller as being the perpetrator. So, okay, I love the fact that I could also just leave this alone and just say I'm not having any part in this. So I think maybe I definitely want to avoid combat. I don't want to have these guys fight each other. So I'm going to try to convince her to pay the guy back. They both have the same level of resolve, which is like their health, and so there's no difference there I need to weigh. So yeah, I'm going to try to convince her to pay the dude back. Sounds like a bum deal, Juke. Okay, so because he's on my side, he has given me a special power. And let's see here. Okay, maybe it's this card called Permit. So I gain 2 Permit. What does Permit do? Whenever this argument takes damage, deal that much damage to a random enemy argument. Okay, so it's almost like a reflect ability. All right, cool. Okay, so here is how I need to remind myself how this works. So it's a lot like Slay the Spire in that I've got a limited number of actions. Each of these cards costs 1 action, though they can have different costs. And the red cards are like aggressive negotiation cards, and the green ones are diplomatic ones. So it looks like I can do the most damage to her argument by using this grunt. And so this gets +3 damage because it's prepared. Being prepared means being in the far left position. This is a mechanic that I think was introduced with this guy. It's a fairly recent one. It wasn't in the game when I first started playing it. But there are some cards that let you move other cards around in your hand, which then will trigger their special abilities. So let's definitely use this one just because it's so powerful. And then, okay, and I think I'm not sure why I just drew a card, but it looks like, okay, this one will allow me to set the coin. This is my coin. Right now, it's on heads, which means that these cards all get, if it's at heads when I finish playing the card, they all get things like maximum damage and stuff like that. Whereas this one, it wants it to be not heads, but snails. And if it's on snails, then this one would gain 1 bonus damage. But it's on heads right now, and I could set it to snails if I wanted to. But let's see, this one doing 3 damage. I mean, I'm already doing 3 damage right here. So let's do that. And then this one also does a full 3 damage. And this one, when I play it, it's going to rig the coin so that next time I roll it, next time I flip it, it's going to still be on heads. I think that I've set up my deck to be mostly diplomatic, and so that's probably a good thing. Meanwhile, she, right here, these are the actions that she's intending to take right now. Like, she's going to attack this argument, which is me trying to rig my coin. When I said I was going to rig my coin, that buff, it shows up here as a thing that she can attack. And so she's attacking this. So actually, the fact that I rigged the coin a little bit more didn't actually mean the coin is going to get rigged. What it means is this argument got tougher, and so when she does 4 damage to it, it's going to absorb 3 of that damage before bouncing the damage back to my core argument. It's complicated, but I love it. So let's end the turn. Now she's going to take her actions, which include that, and then she just triggered this cat thing. What is this? Crafty. Intense and target. Oh, okay. So she just basically used this ability. It means I can't tell what she's going to do next. Usually, you can tell what they're going to attack you with, how much, and how and you'll know how you need to defend yourself. But I can't tell what she's going to do. So that's bad for me. Oh, Oh, so some folks, by the way, are reacting to my new streaming time. Fadope says, I love your new streaming times, because it seems like there's a lot of folks who could not make my midnight streaming times, which makes sense. I'm about the furthest west of anyone who participates in my stream, and so when I stream late at night, it is super duper late at night for everybody else, or the next morning for people in Europe usually. So Dojin Cat Memes is saying that they also appreciate me being here this time, and Cloudcraft is here. I love Cloudcraft. So Cloudcraft says, you're still playing this? I didn't realize it had that much staying power. So it's got fairly equivalent replayability to Slay the Spire. I wouldn't say that I'm still playing it. I'd say I'm playing it again. Like most of my favorite games, I'll play it for a little while, get into it, and then I'll hit sort of a point where I need to move on and play something else to sort of keep my interest, but I'll hold on to them. Like, I've got categories in Steam and stuff like that. They're like, these are my favorite games that I intend to come back to sometime in the future. I'm that way about RimWorld, and I'm that way about Griftlands. So anyway, so she's defending herself. She's got a little +2 here that shows she's used some defenses. And so, because I don't know how she's going to attack me or with what, I'm kind of inclined to use this thing that will reflect damage. But, oh, what is this? Oh, I love this card. So each time, this is a long-term investment card. Each time I use this blacklist card against a different person, because all the characters in the game are like people that they sort of hold on to, and they'll keep using the same characters in different storylines and in different missions. And so there's a finite number of characters. So as you use this card on different characters, it gets more powerful. So I've used it a ton. So it's up to 10 strength. So you know what? I kind of don't care what other options I have. I'm using this one because, I mean, that's an unmissable amount of damage. And then because I don't know what she's going to do, so I could either apply 5 composure to my main argument. What's this one? Oh, okay. So this is just letting me draw extra cards. It's not that useful, because I was going to say one thing I could do is gamble and flip my coin, and if my coin comes up snails, I apply composure, which is like defenses, to all of my arguments, because I don't know what she's going to do. She could attack anything that I've got collected over here, and I can defend them all, but only a 50% chance. Since I kind of don't care about my other arguments, I'm going to do this one, which is a guaranteed 5 composure on my main argument. That probably makes me safer, so we'll go with that. So now we get to find out what she's doing, attacking me there, and looks like it's defending herself and defending this this argument. I'd love to kill this argument at some point. Let's see what my options are here. Okay, so I can prepare this card, which means that this card will give me another action, which means I can do other stuff. So, okay, I like this. Okay, so it says I'm dogged. So let me use this on this. Oh, it only did 1. Dang it. Okay, but I'm going to prepare that card. It moves to the front. It gains the ability to give me 1 action. So now I use it again on this. All the excess damage, whenever you do damage to one of their little side arguments, any excess damage still hits them in their, core, which is nice. And then I can... okay, so she's going to be attacking me for 4. I don't actually have anything that's going to give me composure, though, so... except this right here. If I... Oh, okay, so I can steal her composure if I roll snails. And I've actually got a card that will let me do that. So I'm going to set the coin to snails. And so now I'm going to steal her composure. Oh, wait, when did I didn't see why I did damage to her. Dang it, I was going to steal her composure. Well, that's useless now. But I guess this one's got bonus damage, so I'll do that. The problem with a game that is as complex as this one, there's a lot going on with each action and each turn, and there's a lot of different competing rules all sort of getting messed with by the cards. It is very easy to miss something and not realize, the full implications of an action that you're taking. Cloudcraft says, I don't find the regular combat system that interesting, but I should really get this just for the argument system. It's so funny because the two are not that different from each other, but I like the fact that they sort of basically taken a basic card game and skinned it as a conversation. And they even, all the cards have names that that seem relevant to things you would use, things you would say in a conversation. This has always been kind of one of the holy grails of game design, is to come up with a compelling social game that feels both like a game and like a conversation. And no one has succeeded yet. Everything is either it feels like a conversation and it's not much of a game, or it feels like or it's a really fun game and it's not much like a conversation. This is more on the latter side. It doesn't really feel like a conversation. The veneer is pretty thin, but at the same time, it's a fun game, and I like the fact that it sort of represents my ability to persuade people with this game that I can get strategically good at. Okay, so again, I don't care that they're attacking this, though 3 of this damage is going to bounce back to me, so that's not going to be good. What can I do about that? So if this is prepared, then I can gain extra damage with it. So I could gamble this one to get the other one. I don't have any cards that will prepare another card, but I can gamble and get rid of this card, which will put this one in the prepared slot. This one says deal extra damage for every argument you have, but arguments are the things that orbit around me, and I haven't created a bunch of those. I think the strategy of this deck just doesn't have a lot of ongoing arguments that I create. 5 damage to all enemy arguments. This would be more powerful if, you know, she had any. But it says, notice it's gamble, which means that basically, even if this was already on heads, it wouldn't matter, because I'm going to flip it again, unless I've rigged it. And actually, I've rigged it to be snails. So even if I played this, this would definitely come up snails. And I think I would probably I would expend this. It would go away. This attack would then be applied fully to my core argument. And so I don't want that, because this is basically my health. So, there's so many. Oh, when this is prepared. Oh, so this card is actually not designed to be played. If I can just get this into my first slot, then I get composure, I get defense every time I play another card. So it's useless to me right now. Okay, so I think we want to gamble twice. And then, even though that is going to expose me to more damage, it also gives me the ability to damage her more. And actually, yeah, I don't know if I actually approve of that decision that I made. I did just draw something. By the way, you'll notice these little pips here. I'm leveling up these cards by playing them again and again. So I can see which cards I haven't played very much. Like, actually, Jargon? I'm not even sure what counts as playing this card. So, the +1 damage for every argument. Yeah, So now, if I flip this coin, it could actually come up heads and deal extra damage. Let's try this. Yes, it came up heads and did extra damage. Awesome. So, this one has a chance to do a little bit more damage than the others, so it's probably the best. Yeah, I think this one's the best. So I'm going to take 4 damage. One thing that's interesting about this game is, I'm going to take this damage is lasting. Like it's gonna stick with me, until the end of the day, unless I heal. But if I get into combat and I win an actual physical combat match, that will cause me to heal my resolve. And so, like, if I go back and forth between the two, they're actually mutually self-supporting. Okay, so this card, these green cards, they can be powerful, but as I use them, there's some kind of parasite in my head that is trying to hatch. And each time I use the powers that it gives me, it gets closer to hatching, and I don't know what happens when it hatches. So I don't really want to use this one because this... Oh, wait, no, because expend, not... Okay, I don't throw the cards away. I just expend them for the rest of the negotiation. So depending on what's next in my deck, and I don't think I have a way to check what's next in my deck, this could be powerful because I could get 2 free versions of another card. This card gains 1 damage every time you gamble. So if I could gamble... Oh, I can gamble here. So if I use this one, I get 2 bonus damage if it stays heads. And then this card will gain damage because of that. This one applies composure, which I'm going to need some defense, and it will draw a card, which could give me another option. Except these options are already pretty good. This one is attacking me. If I can do 5 damage to this, it'll reduce some of the damage against me. So, okay, so I'm going to first gamble here. It came up heads. That's good. So I did more damage than I would have otherwise. This one does more damage, which means that when I use it to attack this and stop this attack, it will still have one more damage to carry over here. So that's good. What's this? Impatience. Oh, okay, so Juke is going to start... So if I'm taking too long to take Juke down, Juke gets impatient and actually gets harder and harder to persuade her. Okay, so I could use this to get a couple of free versions of some random card and get a little closer to hatching. I'm kind of curious what happens when I hatch this Parasite. I genuinely don't know what that's going to be. Or I could just apply Composure. I'll draw a card, and we'll find out what card would have been duplicated and maybe have some regrets. I think I want to do this to defend against her attack, so I'm going to do this. Oh, I was just going to get 2 jargon cards. That would have been useless, so I'm glad I didn't choose Voices. All right, turn's over. I'm only going to take 1 damage, which is nice. All right, let's see here. So, folks are still talking about the new stream time, and by the way, welcome a few more people. Habitual Bell, TTV Caplot, I'm glad that you're here. Fadope points out that 4:30 p.m. is way better than 11 a.m., because Fadope is in Central Europe. And so, for me, this is like the difference between staying up late and getting up early. But for them, it's just different, more or less convenient times in the middle of the day. All right, so... The tank is like, maybe the Parasite is like a secret 4th character. Yeah, that would be hilarious, actually, if they had an entire character and an entire plot line that was just based on a Parasite growing in one of the characters' heads. Okay, so I feel like I'm so tantalizingly close to taking her all the way down. She's not attacking me this turn. She has... Oh, wait, no, she is attacking me, probably. She's just hidden her arguments. Great. Okay, so I can draw a card, and I deal max damage. If this is up, that's good. This is +1 for every argument I have, but I don't have a bunch of arguments. Rig 2, and then prepare a card. None of these benefit from being prepared, but rigging 2 of this means I would get another argument, which means that this one would deal +1 damage. I don't know if spending this card is worth +1 damage. Well, actually, nothing else is doing that much damage, so let's... I feel like I should attack the cat. Okay, so this one I can do max damage with as well. Yeah, so, okay, so the question is, do I care about doing 1 more damage with this card? Is that worth this? Basically, these 2 together will be 3 damage. Or just this one by itself will be 3 damage. That feels like an obvious choice. So let's first get rid of the cat. Okay, she's going to attack me for 6. I don't really have a way to defend myself. But we can at least do a little bit more damage. I'm really close, so I'm going to take this damage from her. It's going to suck, but I think I might be able to take her down next turn. Oh, but she's got massive defenses now. Sweet. And she's doing 7 damage to me next. Yeah. All right, so... Looks like I don't... it would have been really nice if I had gotten that Steel Composure card. And I don't have anything that could prepare this card. Though I could just, if I wanted to play all of these cards, then this one would land here and give me an extra action. See, maybe I should just spam her with these attacks. Okay, so I gamble. I either get 2 bonus damage with this, or it'll set up this one. Alright, so yeah, let's gamble this guy. Okay, comes up. Extra damage for him. Cool. I think when I rig 1 snails, I don't think it actually changes it to snails right then. So I probably will not get the bonus damage. But I could gamble and just see if it comes up snails naturally. It did. Okay, so now I'll rig 1 snails and I'll gain bonus damage. And then I can set the coin to be heads, which means this one deals max damage, and I gain 1 action. And now I can play this card, which attacks twice. Yes! So, I love card games like this that you sort of give you a set number of actions and let you mess with the number of actions if you do the right stuff. It feels a lot like actually my favorite part of Gears Tactics, which is the same thing where it's like you've got a set number of actions, but if you plan your turn right, if you plan your turn a certain way, you can get more actions and do more with your turn. So you could do some like the most straightforwardly good thing and just get a certain limited number of actions. But if you do a weird thing, you can get more actions and actually get more done. That was great. Okay, so at the end of every negotiation, you get a new negotiation card. So, gamble, attack with this card twice, discard a card, gain dominance equal to its cost. I don't really use dominance a lot. This was effective. I kind of liked the card that was either this or similar to this that I just played. So I'm going to go with this one. And then, oh, right. So I used this card often enough that that now I can upgrade it. So I get to pick one of two directions for it to go. So this can either start with higher damage, or damage is reset when played. What does that mean? Damage is reset when played? Oh, does that mean that when I play it? Oh, like say I gamble 3 times during a turn with this card, it goes up to 5, and then I play it, then it stays at 5, and the next time the same card comes up, it's now at 5. I think that's what that means. So I can either be consistently higher or get higher over time. So this is probably what I would normally choose. I want to see if I'm right about that guess about how it works, though. So I want to choose this out of curiosity. Fidope says curiosity is important, but he was talking about the parasite. So there we go. So Sangatsu says, is the parasite there from the beginning, or did you get it later in the game? I got it later in the game. There was some event I went through, and I forgot what it was because I took such a break from this game. There was some story event where I gained the parasite, and I think I probably could have avoided it. I'm not sure I could have, but I think I could have. Okay, so this is the rest of my deck. And cool. And then so metal. I'm not actually sure what metal is. So metal is a new mechanic they've added to the game recently. I think it was in their most recent update. I'm not sure even where it's shown. Like, I don't know, like, where is my accumulated metal? I don't see it anywhere in the HUD, and I don't know what it does, and I feel like I need to do some research. Okay, so she agrees. All right, I'll pay him back. It's gonna ruin me, but I'd rather not die over this. Hamund loves me. So whenever you do things to help characters, they progress into like liking you and then loving you. And so because these characters are consistent and they get pulled into the same stories again and again, you get the opportunity to accumulate a relationship with them. And so if you're being kind to people, you can earn them as friends, which means you get a boon. So War Machine. So okay, so this guy gives me access to a weapon that I can use in combat, which is actually pretty damaging. A free RPG once a day from a member of the Rides. Okay, so once a day I can use this card. That's pretty cool. If I had made him hate me, then it would have gone the other way. I would have gotten a Bane from him, which is some negative thing that he applies to me all the time. So you got to be careful not to just make a bunch of enemies in this game. You got to watch your relationships, which, for a game where you're playing as some, like grifter mercenary, it feels really appropriate. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Oh, Joshua just pointed out that maybe what's happening is not that it's accumulating gambling over time. Maybe, and I didn't see this, so it could be that this is true. That that gambling card, that it expends itself normally, but then this one it doesn't expend itself, but it also doesn't keep the added damage. That makes more sense, probably just balance wise. But yeah, okay. That I was probably wrong about that card. Is the message. All right. And part of the reason I decided to help the Rise, by the way, was because I'm actually working for the Rise, I think, as part of this this storyline, if I remember correctly. Okay, so you come to a location like this, you can actually like have drinks with people and buy things from people. There's all kinds of stuff you can do, but I'm going to talk to Falema. Hey, Rook, I was just thinking about that thing we did one time back in the day. Good times. Okay. So I'm trying to look, what is my relationship with this guy? Okay, so I hear Flamo's voice. Okay. Oh, and I can get this if I murder Falemo. Nice. Okay, so I just wanted to see if we had a relationship already. It looks like we don't. So I'm going to back away from him. I'm going to look over this other way. Oh, wait. Okay, for a second I thought that maybe I had made an irrevocable choice there, but I don't think I did. Let's check out Calandra. So Calandra, okay, I also do not have a relationship with her either. So... Oh, so yeah, 5 people love me. 5 people like me. Oh, wait a minute. Calandra likes me. So does Falemo. So either one of them. If I make them happy, I'll get a boon from them. So it kind of doesn't matter who I choose. Ooh, and she is a member of the Rise, which means I can requisition an RPG from her. Okay, so it wasn't just going to automatically show up. I actually have to talk to a member of the Rise to get it. That's interesting. Wow, I wonder... I'm just trying to think of like the scripting that you would have to do to make an ability like that adds dialogue to an entire class of different... They must have some complicated stuff going on under the hood to make this kind of thing feasible. Okay, anyway, let's give... Because we're here... I don't actually remember if there's a reason why I should care which of these characters I go with, so I've been being friendly to Rise members, though, so let's just go with Calandra. I have something for you. Calandra leafs through the papers. So the boggers found themselves a weapons cache. Those bog-addled fools are more likely to worship them than put them to good use. In the right hands, those weapons could topple the barons. So you want me to retrieve them? No, it's too big a job for just one person, and I don't trust this report, not yet at least. We'll discuss this again soon. I need to consider our options. So what are you going to do about the cache? If it's real, I intend to take it. By force? If it comes to that, there might be a better way. The boggers are a hard bunch to read. I apologize for the construction noise, by the way. We're building an addition on our house, and so now and then you're going to hear some hammering, maybe some grinding, maybe some sawing. Anyway, how can I be of service to the Rise while you're busy hatching plans? Always work to be done. Okay, so I get to choose which of these missions I'm going to go on. So we got Mole Fixer, which says, Coda is a mole working for the Spark Barons and feeding critical information. I can get, let's see here. Okay, so they've stopped talking. So we're trying to turn a mole back on. And this person likes me, so I get rewards bonus from this. So that's cool. I get metal. I don't know what metal is, but I also get a graft. A graft is a long-term upgrade to the characters. Okay, so this is 131 shills. This is more shills. Difficulty's about the same. Shills are, of course, money. I'm kind of inclined to to choose this one. They're both negotiation focused, but this one's just gonna have a bigger prize for the same difficulty. So I'm nothing if not a mercenary. I have a lead, a researcher who's none too happy with the terms of their contract. If we could convince him to leak some secrets, we could sell them for a profit. That money could go a long way towards supporting the cause in this quarter. Convince them how exactly? That's up to you, ain't it? With honey or vinegar. Both taste sweet compared to bog water anyway. All right, let's go. Something inside is bound to be valuable. I'll see what can be done. Okay, so Jay Heinstein just updated us on the Parasite. They say the tick card is unavoidable and happens in the morning of day 2. Okay, so it's been a while for me since the morning of day 2, so I'd forgotten that. And also, I mean, there's no way for me to know in my first playthrough what's avoidable and what's not. I don't know how much of this stuff is random or how much is based on my choices and how much of it is just, you know, this happens every single time. So, okay, so having a Parasite is actually just an intrinsic part of this character's story. All right, so there's trade secrets. I could also go to the black market if I want to. You know, So I'm about to go negotiate right after having done another negotiation challenge, and I'm nervous. Let's see if they've got anything that could help me refill my resolve. I think what I actually need to do is go to a tavern. I think that's where you get stuff to refill your resolve. Yeah, okay, so these guys are going to mess with my deck, mess with my graphs. What I really need to do is go to a tavern. So let's go to the tavern. You're watching me remember how to play this game in real time. Okay, so let's buy a drink, which will restore my resolve, but will give me 2 cards that are annoying. That will fill, basically, they'll clutter up my hand until I spend them. But this actually healed me the exact amount that I needed, so we're good. I like the idea of intoxication meaning that my hand gets cluttered. That feels very appropriate. Okay, so let's go do this mission. I think by the time we're done with this mission, we're probably going to be done with this session, because I think we're probably going to hit the hour mark around then. So you find Leisha's hovel amidst the sprawl. Hello, Leisha. It's unclear whether Leisha's easygoing attitude is a result of her temperament or the fumes radiating off her wares. Aye? I've heard you're an extremely gifted researcher of some of the bog's deeper secrets. The barons must be very lucky to have you. Supposedly. Oh dear, I'm sorry to hear it. I don't mean to pry, but I'm an admirer of your work, and it would be a tragedy if you weren't able to achieve your true potential. Surely the barons must be willing to give you whatever you need for your work. Pah! How can they know what any of us truly need? They follow their noses to riches, all the while ignoring the seductive stench of the bog itself. Seductive, you say? The barons think we're digging for vagrant age tech to adapt to our needs. What is the vagrant age? The ancient era during which the planet was colonized by spacefarers. Interesting. But that tech has been down there for millennia. It's changed, developed. What we have now isn't ancient ruins, but the skeleton of the very bog itself. The barons aren't excavators. They're parasites. Okay. So I can either beat her up to take her research, not my style right now, or I can convince her to give me access. Now, her resolve is higher than mine, but that was true last time, so I'm thinking I have a decent shot. If you're displeased with the barons, perhaps you ought to show them exactly how much. What do you mean? A little chaos will make them appreciate what they have. How about you give me access to the research camp? I promise not to damage anything, just make them think. Okay, buy the book. Cannot target core arguments, expand. So I can just do a ton of... I just gained a card that lets me do a ton of damage to things that are not her core argument. Interesting. Okay, so I don't know what she's going to do here. Oh, she's creating an argument. Okay, so it's not going to immediately affect me, hopefully. But she's trying to do 7 damage to me, and... I don't think I've got any defenses. My deck is not stacked with defenses. It is mostly an offensive deck. So... hopefully drawing a card will give me an option here. Okay, nope. I can prepare a card. Any of these benefit from being prepared? Nope. Alright, so I could gamble to do more damage. Or I wish I could tell what was next in my draw pile. But unfortunately, I don't think this is in order. Alright, let's start here. Plus 1 damage for every argument you have, so I could do basically 3 damage, or listen to some voices and do some random stuff. You know what? I'm gonna roll the dice. Let's go. Okay, so I got... Oh, wait. Interesting. It said it would duplicate the card. I thought it would duplicate the card into my hand. But maybe it's actually duplicating the card into my deck. I thought I would get 2 of this. Oh well. Well, let's see how we gamble. There we go. Well, I did significant damage to her. I brought her down below my level here, but she's going to take me down too. Chemicals! Still, we definitely closed the gap, though. You always... these games that have sort of, like, long-term health that has to last over multiple battles means that, you know, even if I can get an edge by sacrificing myself, it's always a long-term gamble to do that. Alright, so what's she doing here? All cards have a random cost between 0 and 2. So she scrambled the costs of my cards, which are usually pretty reasonable. I've got some composure for free, though. That's nice. I can set the coin and deal max damage. Okay. So I actually kind of like these costs that she set, so I'm not going to complain about it. Rig this and then prepare a card. Do any of these benefit from being prepared? I don't think so, so I don't care. Let's attack twice with this. And then I've still got 3 actions left. So if I'm on snails, I apply extra composure. This is really good. Okay. It's expensive, but it means I won't take any damage next turn, so worth it. And then I think, yeah, most of my... Oh, I can't... I didn't notice I had this card. Oh, I want to play it against her now, and I cannot. Oh, that makes me so sad. What was this? Okay, so I've got this thing called flourishes that I've never used before. You know, let me find out what my flourishes are. I'm going to click this thing. Oh, interesting. They've got temp art on it? Oh, and I need to look for a flourish vendor to get more flourishes. This is a boring flourish. Gamble 5 times? I mean, well, now that I've got... Actually, I know that I've got that one card that benefits from me gambling a lot of times, so I'll have to keep in mind that I've got a flourish that does that. But, for right now... I don't know. Having another argument would probably be good. And doesn't matter which one I prepare. Okay, turn's over. Really sad I didn't get to use Blacklist. Makes me almost want to extend this combat longer just so that I can get it again. Alright, so this card gains whenever... Oh, and even when I gamble and the card is not in my hand yet, it still gains it. Oh, gotcha. Okay, and yes, so I think that you are right. Whoever said that the damage is... I'm betting this card is usually expended, and this version of it isn't expended, but the damage is reset when I play it. That makes sense. Okay, so first off, composure. Then let's use that flourish. Gamble a zillion times. I don't know why I keep getting these extra cards. But I've got 1 action left, and worth it. Boom. Okay, end turn. And my composure was up, so I'm good there. Fadope asks, have you streamed other zombie games like Dying Light or Project Zomboid? Yeah, I do actually tend to try out new zombie games when they show up. Both of those games have been out long enough that I think it's been a while since I streamed them. I actually might have been physically incapable of streaming Zomboid. I think I was having a technical problem back when I played it for the first time, and I was not able to stream it. And I don't know if I actually streamed Dying Light. I think, yeah. That might have come out before I started streaming regularly, honestly. But yeah, it might be interesting actually to go back and try it out. I played it ages ago. I found it really difficult, which was part of the problem. Okay, so if I get the ability to prepare stuff, that can be valuable. Okay, so I've got a bunch of ones that benefit from being prepared, but no cards that prepare cards. You really have to build your deck very cleverly to make those matchups work, I think. Okay, so if this is prepared, I gain 1 action. So if I at least do this, I'll do some damage. It costs a lot of actions, but then this one will gain an action because it will have been prepared. I wish this one was at the left. Dang it. Okay, well, let's do this. Okay, so then... This one will gain me an action. So unfortunately... Ooh. So I would love to gamble, but I can't. Because for one thing, my flourish counter is down. And this would cost my last action. So... Dang it. So I guess I can't do the extra damage, but at least I can gain an action. Oh, that actually did a decent amount of damage. This one will let me draw a card. That one didn't do very much damage. And now... So this card is sticky. It'll actually hang around until the next turn. So... Well, you know what? I'm going to gamble twice. I'll do it now, just because I've got the action free, and I know it's taking one of my cards and making it more powerful. Ooh, and I just drew this card. I wish I knew... I think it must be one of my graphs that's making me draw cards all the time. Let's see here. Composure cards do extra composure. No. Is it one of my social boons? Oh, this is the one that's giving me extra cards. Okay, that's cool. No! I can't figure out what I've done that's getting me causing extra cards to just appear in my hand. But let's use this one, improvise a card. That'll actually level this one up, which is nice. One bonus action next turn. Let's do that one. One bonus action next turn. And we're done. So she's really going to hit me hard this time. I think my resolve is now lower than it was at the end of the previous battle. So she's doing some good work against me here. Oh, interesting. So this is one of my favorite kinds of arguments that enemies will have. They'll often have decoy arguments, where instead of having an argument that damages me, they'll have an argument that if I attack it, will give me something good, which motivates me to not attack their core argument. So these little decoy arguments are kind of interesting. Okay. Let me see. What should I do? Okay, so composure for free. We'll always take that. All right, so I get bonus damage from this one, so I could do up to 4 damage there. 5 damage to all enemy arguments, including this good one. You know, let's do this. I've got lots of actions, and this will fill my hand with cards. Oh, why did I hit that one twice? I hit her core argument twice, and I don't even know why. Okay. Like I said, this game has got so many rules stacked on top of rules going on all at the same time. I cannot keep track of what is going on. Like, sometimes there's just absolute chaos because I don't know what's happening. Now, I think if I had played this consistently from the beginning rather than taking a big break right in the middle of his storyline, I might have a stronger memory of what powers of his I've accumulated over time. But let's see here. So I can grab Burn, which hits all enemy arguments. I could grab Spend 1 Influence. This guard, I'm not really accumulating influence, so that's not going to work. Oh, there's another one that gambles. I just grabbed one of these. Let's grab it again. I mean, that gambling card is pretty powerful. And I can upgrade Trickery, as we predicted. So Improvise Plus. Oh, that means I get to choose from a larger range of cards. And this one makes the cards better. Let's go with cards are better. And then I've got metal. I don't know what it is. Surely a bit of added entropy could only help reveal the bog's secrets. Yes, I think perhaps so. Everyone should have the chance to learn as I have, to experience the bog. Not just the one on the surface, but a fathom deep, closer to the beating heart. Here, take my key card and make note of this password. You'll need both to enter the camp. All right, so I think... Okay, so now I need to go to the camp. Okay. Well, let's see what happens here. Sorry for anyone who's new, who doesn't know why there's a bunch of banging sounds in the background. It's because we got some folks here who are building an addition on my house. We found that our house was not large enough to contain our family when we're all here all the time during a pandemic. So we needed to add a room so we have space for kids to do homework and things like that. And we had a carport already, and so we're basically converting our carport into a room, which is much cheaper and much easier to permit than just building an entire room on the house from scratch. The research camp is easy enough to find, but at first you second-guess yourself. Strangely, it's deserted. Most of the supplies and tools have been removed from the site, but a locked shed looks promising. Using the key you got from Leisha, you unlock the shed and peer inside. You find some minor bog trinkets and a ream of technical notes. Can I take all of these things? A fleed egg. It's another hatching thing! That also hatches. Oh, look at all these hatching cards. This is great. You take the notes. There's nothing else of interest in the shed. On your way out, however, you hear the sounds of footsteps squelching in the mud. What the? Why is this open? Hey, who's in there? This area's off limits, grifter. How'd you even get in here? Kibi notices a trinket you took from inside the shed. So it's a thief, is it? I've got a security password? Sure. Calm yourself. I'm here on barren business. Philema wants his trinket for himself. You tell Kibi the password. She hesitates, but keeps one hand on her weapon. When did I get that password? I wish I remembered this stuff. Okay, so her resolve was normally very high. I think I just took her resolve down by giving her the password. But I don't know if I mean, my resolve is at 20. I lost 16 during my last fight. And that was against someone who started with 46. She's got 56. I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose this fight. I think I have to fight her. And she looks pretty tough. So we will find out. We'll find out how this goes. Okay, so here's combat. This dog is going to attack both of us. She is just going to attack my dog friend. He's just going to attack me with something that doesn't do damage. Okay, so this is very similar, except I've got my auto dog, which is going to do something. Normally he should be attacking. I don't know why he's not attacking, but I'm sure he's going to do something interesting. So I've got one charge, which is, I think, as a mechanic that's specific to Rook. Oh, Rook, by the way. That's the name of my character, Rook. So I do extra damage if I spend this charge. And other things I can do can apply charge. So I can apply targeted to something, which means, NPCs will prioritize this target. I don't know if I need that. I'm pretty sure if I take her down, will the other ones flee, or do I need to take them all down? I'm really not sure. Okay, let's see here. Ooh, summon a feral auto dog. Yes? Yes, I would like another ally, please. It's feral. And it's got very little damage, too. I mean, very little health. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so yeah, there are some fights where some of the characters are just minions, and if you just take out the boss, you'll be good. I think that's probably not this. I think I probably do need to take these guys down. So I think that what I want to do is just a couple of conventional attacks. Yeah, let's do this. Couple of conventional attacks. And we'll see. Oh, I've got a battle flourish. Let me see what it is. An 8 on all enemies. Okay, good to know. We'll keep that in mind. Tendrils. While this power is in your hand, gain 2 power. Take 2 power whenever you play a card? Okay, so this is from my parasite? Okay, so that means power is a thing that gives me extra attack damage. So while this is in my hand, gain 2 power. So does that mean I've got 2 power? Take 2 damage. Oh, take 2 damage whenever you play a card. And to get rid of this, I have to be willing to hatch it. Okay, so I mean, they're doing a lot of damage to me. I don't have a lot of health. I don't know if I can afford to be just taking damage all the time. Ooh, spend 1 charge, gain 2 actions. Yes, immediately. Oh wait, I'm just blindly deciding to take this tendril damage. Do I want to do that? Am I going to do enough damage as a result? I'll do 4 extra damage to them. in exchange for 4 extra damage to me. That's not worth it at all. In fact, the one I just took wasn't worth it. So I'm gonna get rid of that. Even though that's gonna make it hatch. Yes, this stuff has dropped back down again. Actually, I've got 4 actions here, and I can't even spend them all. What am I doing? All right, well, let's keep focusing on the same enemy. And then apply some defense to myself. They're going to kill this dog. Kind of don't care. I'm pretty sure that my characters act first. Arf. All right. Getting dogs killed is a thing that I tend to do on my stream. For those of you who watched my last Far Cry New Dawn video, that's yeah, that's a thing that happens. So now this is when I want to have a lot of actions. What the crap? Okay, so I've got some temporary. So apply 1 ricochet. Whenever this target takes damage, do random damage to other guys. Okay, that's cool. This dog is getting attacked pretty hard. Ooh, attack once for each charge, and now I've got 4 charges. This is actually going to be really powerful. So let's do this. And then, okay, I don't have any overcharge. So overcharge, I think, is the thing that you get when you gain charge and it goes past the limit. And so if I had overcharge, this would be free, which would be great, but it's not, so whatever. And then apply 1 ricochet. I mean, it doesn't matter because I'm going to use it on this guy who's going to be dead, but whatever. Okay, I got fewer people attacking me. That's helpful. What was my flourish again? Oh, it was 8 damage to everyone. That's right. So if I get into a situation where that's important, I'll grab it. Concentration increases the minimum damage of all attacks by 1. Okay. So I could use this. I need some defense. None of the enemies have burn, so this isn't very useful. Okay, yeah, so let's use both of my defensive abilities. And then I gotta use some of this damage I grabbed. Ooh, the jammed blaster, it's gonna hatch. I wonder if this is gonna... This feels like this might hurt me. Is there a reason why I want to do 1 extra damage at the risk of hurting myself? Oh, this is curiosity. I gotta find out what it does. Oh, it got fancier. Oh, interesting. So I just used it a bunch and I worked out the kinks and now it's a better gun. Okay, good. Yeah, here we go. Oh, okay. Oh, they're gonna murder the crap out of my dog. Don't murder my dog. Can I murder their dog before they murder my dog? Let's see here. Spend 1 charge, deal 3 bonus damage. Hits all enemies. Expend. Gain 2 charge. Apply 3 defense. Okay, so let's do as much damage as I can. Okay, there's a good chance I kill this dog. Okay, good. Dog's dead. My dog is not going to die now. And I'm... Let's see here. Apply 3 defense. Yeah, let's defend the dog. And we're good. Hello, Greeting Scar. So Jedi Sectric said you just got a password at the end of the last combat. I thought that I got the key at the end of the last combat, not the password. But just explaining why I had that password that could have made this character, that did make this character easier to persuade. But then, you know, I just didn't feel like I had the resolve to do it. Oh, Jedi says that I got both. Okay, I thought I'd only gotten the key. Apparently I got the password. Okay, good to know. So I don't think I have any overcharge, so... I can blast them. Apply Scorch and Burn to an enemy. And then spend all charge, gain 2 temporary power for each charge spent. Ooh, okay, so for 2 actions, I could gain 8 power, which would make this much more powerful. And I could also use my flourish, which would become more powerful. Let's do that. So now I've got a bunch of temp power. I can just blast this character. And then let's grab this guy. Whoa! That did way more damage than I expected. So each character, they've got like a threshold in their health bar that if you get it down to that threshold, they'll surrender. And that was what I was aiming at. I didn't realize I was going to do so much damage. Of course I was. But I didn't think it all the way through. I was going to do so much damage that it was just going to kill her outright. That's not what I wanted. Though, so at the beginning of this battle, it did say that this battle counted as self-defense, which means that I don't actually get whatever consequences come from murdering someone. Because I think that can have social consequences in the game, and I've forgotten what they are. But when it's self-defense, you don't have that. So in this case, basically all that means is they're not really necessarily saying that it's self-defense in more literal terms. I think what they're saying is that's just their term for this is a combat where you won't get in trouble if you kill the person. So let's pick a new battle card. I would like to have more defenses. Empty. Oh, if I've got no charge, okay. Okay, I like the idea of a free pistol whip if I'm out of charge. I love when they come up with a clever sort of match between like the sort of fake lore context of a card and its mechanical effect. Right here, pistol whip is if you're out of shots, it is free to hit someone with your gun. That's a great idea. I love that. I do tend to sort of like run hot and like be a glass cannon. I don't usually grab enough defenses. This is a high defense card. I feel like I need to have this. So battle upgrade. So hair trigger. Currently, if I spend 1 charge, it does bonus damage. Up to 2 charge, 3 bonus damage per. So this, okay, just magnifies that a lot. Wait a minute. So this is 3 per. No, this is better. This is just better. Well, I'll just do that then. Okay. Next, graft upgrade available. Okay, so I've been using this auto tracker graft, which when you attack this target, gain 1 charge and reduce mark by 1 at the target. Oh, okay. So this is okay. So I've been gaining charge because this thing has been automatically marking enemies, and when I attack marked enemies, I get charge from it. And now I can upgrade it to become a boosted auto tracker, which applies extra mark. Okay, cool. Good to know. Victory medal, which does something. As I understand it, medal is some kind of like meta leveling up thing. It's like it's. I got the impression that it's something that makes your characters better over the long haul, over multiple runs, but I don't know how. Okay, so new battle cards. Nice. Money. And I restore my resolve. Well, only 4 of it, but whatever. You're starting to get a reputation for violence. Sorry about that. You move the bodies to the back of the shed, and lock the door behind you once again. I guess bodies. I guess there were robot dogs. I guess those count as bodies. I don't know. Ooh, so here, this looks like this might be an optional thing here, but let's go resolve this. Let's resolve this quest because we've been streaming for over an hour, and it's probably about time to wrap up the video. A comfort to see you again. Oh wait, was that not? Oh, I thought I had to wrap it up with her. Do I not need to wrap that up with her? Maybe I need to go back here. Hello, Uni. We need the fastest pencil pusher in the West. You need Uni. Didn't think my day would involve a grifter dealing. Offer to sell the research. Wait, is this who I need to sell it to? Oh, I can sell it to all kinds of people. Cult of Hesh, Jake's, or the Admiralty. I don't want to sell it to the Admiralty. Get out of here. I'm a rebel. Okay, so it looks like maybe this is my only option. Let's go over here. Nobody in Havaria has ever heard of a smuggler with a heart of gold, and nobody in Havaria has ever heard of Topo. It's unlikely the two are related. Okay, so if I sell the research to Topo, does she represent the cult of Hesh? Does she represent the Jakes? I don't know. She's not the Admiralty. That's all I care about. So let's sell it. Let's sell it to her. You look like someone who knows an opportunity when it comes along. I have some Sparkbear and research notes that are looking to make their way into the right market. That's my area of expertise. I'll take the notes if you're selling. Demand a kickback. I don't have time for that stuff. Let's just do it. Topo loves me. Oh, whenever I remove a debuff, heal health. That is very helpful. Thank you. Healing is always very precious in games like this. That, like, whittling you down is the whole strategy. Okay, so I've just made the... Okay, that's right, because Calandra only cared about profiting from it. That's right. Okay, so hi, Calandra. Topo is the buyer. You sold it to the Jakes? Huh, I guess they'll be discreet. But they might just go ahead and sell it right back to the Barons. Yeah, but you'll be richer all the same. You get paid 163 shells. You gain 3 metal. What? I would love a tooltip. You got all these tooltips. Okay, so rugged wiring. Gain 2 power at the start of each battle. Lose 2 power the first time you take damage. Whenever you spend your last charge, draw a card. Whenever you gain charge, gain 2 defense. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Automatic defense. I'm so bad at defending myself. Oh, but I gotta replace an existing one. Targets with ricochet. I've got the one card that delivers ricochet. That's not super. Yeah, let's do that. Ow! I just yanked something out of my brain and jammed something back in. All right, so are we done? Here we go. Open map. All right, so I think for right now we're done. So that is Griftlands for you. That's basically, I think it's a pretty decent rundown of how it plays out over the course of a particular mission on a particular day. Usually you have multiple missions per day, and at the end of the day you get to sort of recharge all of your health and stuff like that and keep going. If you ever die, that's it. Your run is over. You got to start over from the beginning, just like any, roguelike, any like Slay the Spire. And so it's kind of interesting because there's this story surrounding it, and things take a little longer, the game progresses a little bit more slowly. It actually feels more costly to start over at the beginning with Griftlands than it does with Slay the Spire. Slay the Spire almost feels a little bit like a slower scale Super Meat Boy, where it's like you fail a lot, but you're right back in the action. It feels just as good to get right back to the beginning. Griftlands, you feel like it's a slower burn, and so you feel like it's more costly to lose. But also, I feel like it's also a little bit more forgiving as you go. It's not trying as hard to murder you. It gives you opportunities to heal and stuff like that you often don't get very many of with a game like Slay the Spire. So, it's an interesting, different vibe. And and Jedi Cytric says, I love a game that you can where you can argue your way out of a scrap. And that's one of my favorite things about this game is the fact that it's not all about combat. They haven't contrived a world where it's just about murdering things left and right. You can murder things. You can be as pacifist as possible, only fighting in self-defense in this game, or you can just be aggressively murdering everyone left and right. And those are both viable options, but the murdering people has consequences, and it actually, it feels like they really want you to understand that in real life, even in the harshest version of real life, usually going around murdering everyone is not actually the thing you want to do. Relationships and diplomacy are actually very, very effective tools that most games just take little advantage of just because it's so hard to make it feel good. So they've got a set of mechanics that let them do social conflict just as easily as physical conflict, as they lean super hard into it, and I really appreciate that. So anyway, let's wrap up this session. And you can subscribe, you can click on videos, or if you're watching me live, none of this makes any sense. But we're going to stick around and do more streaming. This is just the end of the video I'm publishing to YouTube.